You had your little chance to knock me out, didn't you? Couldn't do it, could you? Hit me with 10 shots in a row and couldn't do it.
You too have chance.
Tyson Fury just obliterated Oleksandr Usyk. Not in the ring, yet. But with a reaction so savage it might as well be its own knockout round. This all started when Usyk, in a bold move, decided to post an Instagram story that didn't just cross the line, it drop-kicked it.
Tyson, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
Tyson.
And while we're all hyped about this rematch, especially after the Mike versus Jake circus that lowered everyone's standards, it seems like Usyk forgot that boxing isn't supposed to be a free-for-all circus act. Fury, the self-proclaimed king of everything, is loud, brash, and unapologetic. But one thing he doesn't tolerate is nonsense from his opponents.
I know his team are a little bit upset. They've even compared me to Vladimir Putin today. I'm not sure why, because I've been rapping Tupac.
Tyson.
So when Usyk pulled this stunt, Fury's response was as explosive as you'd expect. And honestly, it might have overshadowed the fight itself.
Fuck your team, fuck Usyk, fuck the Alex, and if you're down with Usyk, well, fuck you too, just like Tupac said.
After all, this is the Gypsy King we're talking about, the guy whose entire identity is wrapped up in being the best. But let's be honest here. After his first professional loss to Usyk, the cracks in that crown are starting to show. Fury's been calling it his countdown to redemption, which is a fancy way of saying, I need to win, or I'm toast. Let's not sugarcoat it. His loss to Usyk was a wake-up call. Fury walked into that fight too comfortable, too cocky, and it bit him, especially during that 9th round. You remember that round, the one where Usyk made Fury look like he'd accidentally wandered into the wrong sport. It wasn't just a loss. It was a public humbling of the highest order. And for someone like Fury, who thrives on being larger than life, it must have felt like getting dunked on in front of the whole school. Now, his talk of redemption feels more like a tightrope act. Is he genuinely confident? Or is he just bluffing, hoping no one notices the panic behind the bravado?
Usyk's a worried man, and I've been around fighting men all my life. I can see inside the soul. He knows he's facing the best Tyson Fury, and what we've worked on, and how he is, and how he's been in...
The stakes here couldn't be higher. This isn't just about another W in the record books. It's about Fury's entire legacy. Lose again, and what's left of the Gypsy King? You can't exactly call yourself a king when your rival's holding the belt you keep dropping. Fury knows this, and you can see the pressure piling on him. It's not just about fighting Usyk. It's about fighting for his identity, his survival as the heavyweight superstar he claims to be. Meanwhile, Usyk. He's sitting back, cool as a cucumber, probably sipping tea while quietly plotting Fury's downfall all over again. That man doesn't just prepare for fights. He studies his opponents like he's writing a thesis. And let's not forget the mental games. Fury's mouth is almost as famous as his fists, if not more so. He's the guy who can out-talk anyone, tear them down with insults before they even step into the ring. But this time, his usual routine isn't quite landing. Usyk isn't just immune to Fury's trash talk. He's turning it into entertainment. The greedy belly nickname, a stroke of genius. It's more than a jab at Fury's fluctuating waistline. It's a dig at his lack of discipline, his arrogance, and his unpredictability. Fury can puff up and roar all he wants, but Usyk, he's just smirking, throwing out one-liners that cut deeper than Fury's loudest rants.
Hey, my friend Greedy Belly, continue training. I'm rest, brother. I know. You hard work. It's good. Appreciate it.
When Tyson Fury stepped into the ring against Oleksandr Usyk back in May, he wasn't just squaring up with Usyk. He was dealing with the absolute madhouse that was his corner. Seriously, the fight itself could have been overshadowed by the soap opera unfolding outside the ropes. And leading that circus? None other than John Fury, Tyson's father, who decided to channel his inner reality show star with outbursts so dramatic they'd make a diva blush. It wasn't just fans face-palming in disbelief. Boxing legends like Ricky Hatton came out swinging too, branding the corner an outright shambles. John Fury has always been a bit of a wild card, but during that fight, he dialed it up to a level of dysfunction that would leave even the most chaotic families saying, "Yikes." While head trainer Sugar Hill Stewart was trying to provide clear, strategic instructions, John was busy yelling his own contradictory advice, turning what should have been a united front into a shouting match. Imagine trying to box one of the smartest fighters in the world while your corner sounds like a badly organized karaoke night. Tyson might have been trading punches with Usyk, but mentally, he was drowning in the noise from his own team.
Fight, but successfully replacing his mischievous father, who would always make fighting headlines than the fighters themselves.
5 rounds. Usyk is a good little fighter at middleweight and light heavyweight, maybe up and cruiser, but he can't mess with them big guys. I was shocked when he come out there.
In fact, he became the talk of the boxing world after his interruption in his son's corner chaotically led to his first career loss against Oleksandr Usyk in the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship match in May. To further complicate things, he recently got into a brawl during his son, Tommy Fury's press conference, an incident which got him several trolls, most notably from Oleksandr Usyk.
Oi, shut up, Little John, be quiet.
This mess has sparked some serious questions about John's role in Tyson's camp. And let's be real, when Ricky Hatton, who's been through his fair share of high-stakes wars, calls it out, you know it's a problem. Hatton didn't just criticize. He threw down a warning. Tyson needs a single, steady voice in his corner, not a free-for-all. But here's the kicker. Tyson's loyalty to his father is rock solid, even when it might not be in his best interest. For Fury, family isn't just important, it's everything. The problem? In boxing, sentimentality doesn't win titles. Enter Sugar Hill Stewart and Andy Lee, the two professionals trying to bring some order to the chaos. These guys know their stuff. Sugar Hill's pedigree is unmatched, and Andy Lee's no stranger to the spotlight either. Both have made it clear that Tyson needs focus and structure to stand a chance. But let's be honest, can they really outmaneuver the larger-than-life influence of John Fury? Because if they can't, and that same circus rolls into the rematch, Usyk will have a field day tearing Fury apart. But Fury had planned something else.
Focused and a little bit more smart to get the victory. As it would seem, my rematch with people is always ends up one way. I always end up knocking him out in the rematch.
Speaking of Usyk, the man isn't flashy, loud, or theatrical. He's just devastatingly effective. His performance in May was a masterclass in precision and strategy. While Fury leaned on his usual size and reach advantages, Usyk was busy dismantling him with sharp angles, footwork that defied physics, and a ring IQ that could put a chess grandmaster to shame. By the 9th round, Usyk had Fury figured out, exposing the cracks in his defense and proving that brute strength means nothing without a brain to back it up.
Counting down the days until I can get my redemption on Usyk. December the 21st is going to be my time. I've done everything in boxing, but I ain't come back from a loss, and I relish it.
Unlike his usual custom,
What makes Usyk truly terrifying is his adaptability. He doesn't walk into a fight with a rigid plan. He studies, adjusts, and evolves mid-fight. That's exactly how he flipped the script in their first bout. While Fury was banking on wearing him down, Usyk had already shifted gears, forcing Fury into a game of catch-up he was never going to win. By the final rounds, the narrative wasn't about Fury's power. It was about Usyk's total control. Here's the thing about Usyk. His confidence isn't built on bravado or trash talk. It's carved out of discipline and sheer hard work. While Fury was busy playing the psychological warfare game, Usyk was quietly training, fine-tuning the skills that would leave the Gypsy King scrambling. This guy doesn't waste energy on hype. Every move, every decision is calculated, and that's what makes him lethal.
Because Fury is from a gypsy background, and those boys are taught to fight at the age of 3-4 years old.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This rematch isn't about who's bigger or stronger. It's about strategy and preparation. Fury's size, his reach, his ability to lean on opponents like a human wrecking ball, none of it mattered in May because Usyk didn't let it. Instead, he dismantled Fury's game plan with precision, pace, and a relentless focus that turned Fury's strengths into weaknesses. And if Tyson's corner implodes again, Usyk will exploit that chaos without breaking a sweat.
Heavyweight division, proving that size and power alone are insufficient without technical expertise.
He's a heavyweight, and the heavyweights were never really that good in terms of that kind of tech.
At the end of the day, This fight is shaping up to be more than just a physical battle. It's a clash of philosophies. On one side, you have Fury, relying on his family's chaotic loyalty and his larger-than-life persona to carry him through. On the other, there's Usyk, cool as ever, focused solely on outsmarting and outclassing his opponent. The question is, can Tyson Fury pull himself together and silence the circus? Or will Oleksandr Usyk prove once again that precision always beats pandemonium? Either way, this rematch isn't just a fight. It's a showdown for survival.